And good morning, Hoosier fans, and welcome to another victorious edition of Hoosier Morning After. This is Hoosier Morning After Nebraska. I am your host, Chad Schwartzkopf. Thanks for joining me. Your Indiana Hoosiers last night go on to beat Nebraska 84-76. And yet again, as I've said before, the tale of two halves. That is becoming a calling card of this team. Hopefully, as coach has harked back to this team, hopefully we can eventually get a 40-minute game in there for these guys. It's going to be very crucial to the continuing success of this team to get 40 minutes out there on the court. We haven't seen that yet. We've seen maybe at most 25, maybe 30 in previous games. This game, I would argue, would be about a 25er. But in the end, great to see IU fight and get the win. Something that has been slightly lackadaisical this year, but I would argue in these past two games at least, the Wisconsin game and this game, it is good to see the team fighting back at the end and kind of not rolling over and giving up. So that's a positive I take from it. First half goes great. We see IU hitting shots. Again, my thought for the game going into yesterday was finish the shots. Just we get good open looks. Just we need to finish them, and we were hitting them. We were hitting those shots. Shots were going in. Things were looking good. It wasn't looking like the team that we're used to seeing as far as 3-point shooting and those open looks that the team gets going in. Now, they game planned and gave us those shots because they packed it in. They packed it in big time, and they wanted to take out Trayce Jackson-Davis and make our guards beat them. And could be concerning if you kind of flash back 3-4 games ago, if you told me that going into half that Al and Rob would have 20 shots and Trayce Jackson-Davis would only have one shot attempt going into half, I would think that we were down by 20 at half, honestly. Sorry, Al and Rob. Sorry to say that. But that's just a matter of fact as to the level of play that we are getting and the level of shot making we are getting from them a few games ago. But there has been a steady increase these last 3 games or so with Rob and Al's play. Confidence is back. The shots just feel better. You can see Rob smiling when he's out there. He's having a good time. Now, a little nerve-wracking because it was Al of old that we saw. Just confidence to take the shot when it came to him. Driving, good passing. But what also came out of old Rob was a possible injury. That was really scary there. We already have seen Armand go out because of a rolled ankle, and we saw in the replay it was Trayce Jackson-Davis landing down on him, kind of turning his ankle, and we didn't see him for the rest of the first half. That did kind of allow Nebraska kind of came back a little bit in that, showing that Rob was pretty crucial at that point in the game. Then the second half comes, and Nebraska does a good job. They get back to their game plan. They are stopping Trayce Jackson-Davis. They're packing in, keeping him from getting the ball. And our guys aren't making them at that point. And then on the other side of the basketball, on defense, we could not contain their dribble drive. They were able to drive past us, just struggling with dribblers. Struggling big time, containing dribblers, not allowing them to get to the basket. And by some point in the second half, Nebraska was shooting over or just around 75% from the field. All those were almost in drives and almost all points in the paint. I mean, Nebraska ends with 34 of their points happening in the paint. And a lot of that was those dribble drives in the second half. IU finishes the same with 34 points also in the paint. that was when we were at least able to start getting drives and get Trace Jackson Davis going. Trace had some very key 6 points almost in a row towards the end, kind of staved a run the other team was having and kind of a drought by IU. And I really think the play that kind of cemented it, and even Coach said to this, commented about this in his post-game show, was Jerome Hunter's hustle play. After he missed that shot, IU was down, I believe, by 2, and it was under 2 minutes left. And he hustled after he missed his shot, boxing out or keeping a body on his defender, getting his own rebound and putting it back up. I've seen a lot of good stuff happening with Jerome. Jerome is starting to feel his groove. A lot of the guys are. I mean, either Jerome, Al, and Rob, I would easily say these last couple of games, you can tell they are starting to feel their mojo again. They're really starting to get some confidence back, and their play has been a lot better, especially Jerome. I mean, Jerome's even been a little more vocal on social media as well, and I think that's maybe him waking up and getting that swagger that he has, that he is able to use back. So, and his defense has stepped up too. Granted, again, we lacked overall at defense in the second half, but his defense is keeping him out there, and he's playing a lot more. He ended with 9 points, shot 1 for 3, 1 for 3 from 3, and was 4 for 7 from the field. So good numbers from him coming back, and 6 rebounds. So he's very aggressive on the glass. That was second for the team as far as rebounds, just behind Trace Jackson Davis. Race had 11 points. Race is having those games recently where he has his moments that he's able to assert himself. Obviously, early on, he had that great hustle play where he got on the ground and got that loose ball for IU. And he does those non-stat type of plays. But I don't know. I mean, comment below if you're seeing it, or hit me up on Twitter. He doesn't look the same out there. He doesn't look as assertive. In games where they're really planning for Trace, I'm still shocked that Race isn't gobbling up the ball and really asserting himself as well. If we struggle to get the ball to Trace, it should be leaving Race some options. So it's something we need to look for. I mean, again, I think he also even had only 1 shot or so as well in the first half. So our perimeter, it's been criticized greatly this year, stepped up. And in earlier games in the season, I would be less confident as to them being able to step up and do what they needed to do to keep us ahead and get us ahead in the first half like we did, up 18 at one point. Again, we can't ignore the fact that the team then dropped those 18 lead and went down towards the end of the game. But good to see them battle back, and good to see them continue to push through some bad play like that. I think Anthony Leal got 20 minutes. His number in minutes is ticking up big time. It's proving to show because he's finally locked in on defense, as we've seen. He's doing some good things on that end, and then he's also hitting some shots. So took a few shots, a little rushed, they felt, to last night. It was 1 for 4 from 3 and 1 for 4 also from the field. Did get 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. So he wasn't the greatest on offense, but he did a good job as a role player, a player out there. He's kind of, in a way, starting to beat Trey Galloway. I mean, those two are kind of becoming relatively interchangeable. I think the main difference you get between the two of them is Trey, you're going to see more of a ball handler, more of a driver, a slasher. And then Leal, you're going to get that shooter, that guy on the outside. On the defensive end, I'd say they're pretty relatively even. Trey may have a little bit of the edge, but they're pretty close to even. Trey, I will criticize a little ill-advised three-point shots he started to take there. I believe year-wise, he's not that, his percentage doesn't look very good, so he should not be taking some of those. He was 0 for 4. He was 4 for 8 from the field, so did okay, but from the field, but just a lot of those threes he should not be taking, I don't think. I think he needs to cut down on those shots. I mean, to be a three-way tie in attempts for three between him, Al, and Anthony, all took 4 threes, Rob taking 6. I don't think he should be one that's taking more than 2 or 3 a game, honestly. I prefer him slashing to the basket. I still want him to take them because if he can make 1 or 2 a game on maybe like 3 attempts or so, it's a high percentage to ask for from him. But if he can do something like that, that obviously makes teams have to honor him on that shot and opens up his drive, his slashing to the basket, which he's good, either making the decision to take a shot or he's very good at passing out of it and finding an open guy. But it just feels like some of those three-point shots are wasted possessions in that sense when you just talk about pure numbers. And overall, I think from what we've seen before, I don't know, his gameplay, and it's bad to say, I hate to say it seems a little more mediocre of recent. And I don't like criticizing a guy like that, but he kind of falls the same in that race category. Maybe I just hold them to a higher standard. That could be the thing. But I look for a little more out of him in the next games. He did finish with 3 assists. Again, that's that drive and kick that he's good at, and he does have great vision when he's out there. And overall, assists were great. 14 assists to 8 turnovers. It's a great ratio. It was just a matter of, in that second half, IU getting sped up way too much. We have had the problem in the past of playing and mirroring the level of the team we're playing against. And it caused us to lose some games in the past. It also proved to have us win some games, specifically thinking the Michigan State, how we've played Michigan State these past couple of years, where they've been a really good team. And while we've had like the 14-loss season, where we lose 14 in a row, 12-loss season, not 14, 12-loss season, but yet then we beat Michigan State twice, and that's us playing up to their level. Now, I think we got a little stuck in that kind of mirrored situation in the second half, where Nebraska wanted to play fast, and again, this team can play fast, but got our team sped up a little bit too much. Guys maybe got tired. We weren't getting back on defense and finding our man and stopping the drive, containing it. Had to be frustrating for Archie. I know the guys probably got chewed out a little bit for some of that play. But again, continued to fight through that. And that had me really nervous, as I know it probably did a lot of you, that I kind of looked at it once Nebraska started to get their momentum and get going, that, here we go. Here's the game. We're going to just kind of skate along here, and we're going to not finish as good. But they did. I mean, at least able to come back. Again, Trace Jackson-Davis at the end, coming on strong, fighting through a lot of the contact. I do think the officiating was pretty good overall. They're giving IU a lot of fouls in the first half. When we stayed aggressive and everything, we got a lot of shots there. There was kind of a hole in the middle of the game where I felt like the refs were really letting a lot of contact go and a lot of things go. Then in the second half, when Nebraska switched it on and started to do more driving and everything like that, I feel like the calls started to come back a lot more. There were a lot more calls. So it felt inconsistent throughout the game. But good to see it at least better than the Wisconsin game. Bury that, Chad. Don't talk about that anymore. Get you frustrated again. But anyways, again, it's a win. It's a road win. It's a game we should have won. Was a must-win game for us. Let's take the positives and the negatives. Let's consider it tape now. Let's study it. Let's improve as a team and move on from it. Again, the real positive to take is the mojo. We were able to see Rob and Al continue to build, and confidence. And Jerome, again, Jerome Hunter, I see him building as well. So this was a game, again, that I think we would have needed Armaan Franklin. He would have done really well. He's very good at containing the dribble, very good on defense, so I think he could have stopped them. And he would have had a great game as far as what they were giving us in the first half. So it was good to see Al and Rob step up and fill that kind of hole left by not having Armaan. So hopefully we get Armaan back soon and he's feeling better, but I don't want to rush it because the guys are filling in the gap for the most part right now, and don't rush him back because I don't want him to re-injure that. And hope Rob can rehab the little tweak that he had. I saw him hobble a little bit at the end of the game when he went out that last time. So it was still nagging him a little bit, and probably had a little bit to do with his lack of production to the same degree that he had in the first half to lead over to the second half. I think it might have slowed him just a little bit and just bothered him just enough to not allow him to cut as hard as he was in the first half. So let's rehab that. They've got some downtime. Next game, play Purdue at home. That's a Thursday at 7 p.m. It's going to be on FS1. Big Ten's tough. Big Ten's tough. So you want to take every win we get this year. Again, just look at Maryland. Maryland is right now, I think, 2-5 in the Big Ten. And their 2 wins are against Illinois, who they beat last night. And who else did they win? But they beat Illinois, and I think it was Michigan State. But anyways, top tier teams that they have wins against, and that's something that it just shows again what a mix the Big Ten is this year, and how tough it is to win, and how good it is. I mean, we're going to get 9 teams in this year easily in the tournament, possibly more. So we got to win every game we can. We got to learn. We got to battle. We got to stay to our game plan and come on out, because we don't have really an easy game left. Every game is going to be a tough one from here on out, and the guys have to stay healthy. They have to stay focused, and we have to see this team put together 40 minutes, at least 35 minutes. It's a game of runs. There's going to be ups and downs. We're going to be trading with teams, but we have to just execute. We execute, get the goal inside, and hopefully with this little bit of string of good shooting that we've seen going on, we can continue to build on that and get the rest of the team healthy. Probably won't see Brock, obviously, the rest of this year, which is a bummer because we could definitely need him down the road. But we'll at least get Armaan back in a game or 2 from now, and we'll continue to go on. So I think that'll do it for this edition of the Hoosier Morning After. Please like and subscribe to this video on the YouTube channel. I'm trying to get up to 100 subscribers, so help me out with that. Tell your friends, share it on. There you can watch the live broadcast of this or catch the replay, or you can also listen wherever you get your podcasts. I try to put that up as soon as I can. Follow me on Twitter at General Chadwick. There you can find out announcements about the show and ask questions. A special thank you to Bob Thompson for producing the music you hear on the show. I'll see you next time the morning after the game. Until then, have a wonderful day and go Hoosiers.